Hey, welcome to Superbooth 2024. I'm Chris from Moog Music, and today we are showing off Spectravox, which is out and available now. Spectravox is a semi-modular analog spectral processor based around a 10-band filter bank. Right now you're hearing DFAM controlling Spectravox, but to break down a bit how Spectravox works, Spectravox has 10 filter bands. Starts with a low-pass filter down here, a high-pass filter up here, and 9 bandpass filters spaced in between. And basically, what Spectravox allows you to do is take any sound and run them through that 10-band filter bank to color that sound. So in this case, we can use Spectravox's internal VCO and noise generator. So if we turn the volume up, you'll hear Spectravox's internal VCO, pulse or sawtooth, and you can sculpt the tone of this incoming sound with the 10 bands, the 10 filter bands, and you can also adjust the resonance for something a little more transparent or something a little more colorful and sharp. The really interesting thing about Spectravox is the spectral shift control. Spectravox is not just a fixed filter bank, but the spectral shift control allows all 10 filters to move simultaneously. So if I just have the low-pass filter, it acts like a cutoff knob on a low-pass filter. And if I put in the high-pass filter, we get this really wide notch filter. And you can start to throw in filters in between to get interesting comb filtering, formant effects, phaser-like tones, especially when you pull in the LFO to modulate all 10 filters. You get really interesting, colorful, psychedelic sweeps of whatever's coming into Spectravox. Cool thing about Spectravox, of course, is not only modulating the internal oscillator and everything, but modulating an external signal, in this case DFAM. We can take the audio of DFAM and run it into Spectravox, into the carrier input, and play with how all 10 filters get on, affect the DFAM output. In this case, we might want a little more broadband sound from DFAM, and that way we can use Spectravox to animate the incoming signal of DFAM. We can also use something like the LFO on here to modulate the level of any of the 10 bands. We can also, Spectravox has a secondary 10-band filter bank under the hood for the program input, which allows you to take any external sound and vocode. So in this case, I'll run DFAM into the program input, and now if I switch the filter mode into vocode, the output of DFAM is being used to animate the internal oscillator of Spectravox. And again, you can control the strength of the 10 bands and move the spectral shift of all 10 filter bands, basically, which allows you, because the analysis filter bank here that's breaking up, in this case, the DFAM into 10 bands and tracking the level of those 10 bands, you can move the main filter bank of Spectravox to get these sort of diagonal harmonic movements. And especially with the resonance control, you can get really, really interesting vocoder tones by using external drum machine, or your voice if you just hook up a microphone. Yeah, so in this case you can use Spectravox to do vocoding. It's a 10-band analog vocoder, and it's pleasantly lo-fi and musical sounding. Some other fun things you can do with Spectravox are use it as a standalone synthesizer, so in this case DFAM triggering the Spectravox, and if you take the pitch output of DFAM, for example, and put that into the volt per octave of Spectravox, you'll just be controlling the Spectravox internal oscillator. So you get an interesting standalone synthesizer voice that's not just, you know, a square wave into a low-pass filter, but a square wave into 10 filters. And another really fun thing to do with Spectravox is to not sequence it in that normal way, but to instead send the trigger inputs into the filter bank directly into the carrier. That's going to ping all 10 filters. And especially if you add resonance, you can use the filter band level controls to control the harmonic overtones of this kind of analog physical modeling woodblock marimba type thing that you're making. And then again, you can take the pitch control, and now if you do that into the spectral shift control, which will move all 10 filters, you get this kind of sequenced marimba sound that we were hearing at the beginning of the video. And you can use the spectral shift control, and of course, the idea behind Spectravox was to give you access and control to everything. So you can modulate all 10 filter bands, you can scramble them if you're in the vocoder mode, you can take the VCO, for example, and use that to modulate one of the filter bands or others. You play around, you find some cool sounds, and yeah, we like to think of Spectravox as taking the topology of a vocoder and kind of exploring that all the elements that make up a vocoder, and giving you access to all of that to play around with and yeah, make some weird, cool sounds with. So that's Spectravox. It's out now. It's shipping now. $5.99 US, I believe €5.99. It might be $6.99. I don't remember. But yeah, thanks for coming by and checking out Spectravox.